Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is the Europa League live draw for the quarterfinals where Manchester United will be in it, unlike Arsenal, which actually I'm not having a dig at Arsenal. I'm actually very pleased that Arsenal are out. I think it makes Manchester United's job easier, but not easy. And there's some cracking draws we could pull out in this this Champions League draw, which will be live draw in about 10 minutes time. But there's lots to talk about before that. Of course, the teams we could play: Feyenoord, Juventus, Leverkusen, Roma, Sevilla, Sporting Lisbon, and somebody I know nothing about. Union, somebody. If I'm not being disrespectful, but if somebody can let me know who they are and where they're from, I feel like a quiz host. Come on down. Who are you and where are you from? Well, I'm Steve from Stoke. I've travelled down on bus with my mum. Welcome. We'll have you in the quarterfinals. I don't know who they are. I think it's probably the easiest draw, but I'm showing complete and utter ignorance. Maybe they're not too bad. I don't know. But let us know in the chat about that. We've also got updates for you on Sir Jim. Sir Jim Radcliffe has been at Old Trafford today as well. They're a Belgian team, says Adrian. Yeah, Union of Belgium. We're going to call them Union. It could have been Union Berlin. I think we thought it was going to be Union Berlin because they knocked them out, didn't they? So give them some credit. But at least there's another Spanish side in it. Savage wants Juventus. I don't really care who we get. To be honest, actually, I do care. I'd like to get the Belgian team. We've had a really tough season, and I wouldn't mind an easy draw. I really, really wouldn't. I think the that's not normally my approach, by the way. For years, you'll know that I'd rather play Liverpool every week than get a home tie against Reading. But I think we've played such a hard season. I mean, sod it. Let's get Roma. Let's play Mourinho. I mean, we're only here once, aren't we? You know, I understand it. I even want it. The easiest tie is the best tie to get to the semi-finals and win the tournament. But we're only here once. Let's get somebody good. So I'd love Juventus. I'd love Roma. I'd love Sevilla, although beating Spanish teams is getting a bit boring. Feyenoord would be interesting, of course, as well. Leverkusen in itself, yeah. Thanks for the great content, says Johan. Yeah, thanks everyone who's tuning in. Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. We could be good crack to see Mourinho back with Roma, says I think that's the tie that people really want to see, isn't it? Roma at some point. But what about Arsenal, says Stuart Walker? Well, of course, let's not dismiss Sporting Lisbon. Look. I think if Arsenal were focused and had picked their strongest team, I think they would have gone through. But you can't take anything away from Sporting. Their penalties were fantastic, and they really were fantastic penalties. Because I don't think Arsenal hit a bad one until they missed it. But yeah, they're an interesting proposition as well. I think we would. John, thank you very much for your super chat. I think we'd like to avoid. I think we'd like something interesting. Malacia against Feyenoord, says Mitchell. But, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd like to play Roma in the final. I'd like to play Juventus in the final. I'd rather avoid Roma and Juventus and hopefully we go to the final and play them there because there's not many teams left in the tournament that I think is a great final. You know, Barcelona have gone, we knocked them out. Obviously, Arsenal are gone. But I think Roma or Juventus in the final would be really, really exciting. So I'd rather we progress, obviously, and respect who we get, but I'd rather see Roma or Juventus play United in the final. But if we have to beat them in the quarterfinals or the semis, we'll do. Please not Feyenoord against United, says Dan. I think we'd beat Feyenoord. I do. And good morning, Mark and the mods. Happy St. Patrick's Day, says Rosie. Yeah, big shout out to the Irish contingent who are celebrating today, even if you're not Irish. St. Patrick's Day isn't a celebration of Patrick Vieira being sacked. I mean, God, how ironic is that? That's not irony, is it? It's coincidental, I suppose. But yeah, big shout out, and I'm very jealous of you all having a day off and being able to get out and have a good time. There's something about being in the pub at around this time and St. Patrick's Day in Dublin or in and around Dublin that's just magical. So I hope you're all having a great day. Some of you might be in the pub already watching this, so big up to you. At the end, we have to beat them all. So if we get the big ones out of the way, we will earn this title. Bring on the big boys, go hard or go home, says DK. Heard Arsenal fans moaning that their players were tired. Seriously, they've been playing one game a week. Try out a schedule in 4 cups, says Aram. Exactly. Mark, just wanted to say thank you for all your work. Been feeling a bit lonely lately, but footballing your watch-alongs have really helped. That's great to hear, Booth. Hope you're doing well, mate. We are a community. We are a community here. We're live. They're real people in the chat, and I'm really here. Look, I'm about to touch my nose. That's real. So I'm not an AI or anything like that. Mark, Union Saint Galice is currently second in the Belgian Pro League, which is usually dominated by either Genk or Anderlecht. Thank you very much, Stephen. There we go. Hi, Mark. My girlfriend Elisa thinks you're a prat, so I've cut off ties, and I'm now a single man. Says Stephen, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. I'd rather finish second than win Europa, says Zain Miassi. Yeah, if you finish second and win nothing, that'll be a really disappointing season for you, Zane. I wouldn't want to face Jose in the finals, says Sang. I wouldn't. I think it's interesting. I'd love to see Ten Hag against Mourinho. This is what I mean. You're only here once. I think Ten Hag against Mourinho would be interesting at the best of times. The fact that Mourinho got sacked by Man United, it's box office. Roma Man United's box office. I really hope we see it at some point. Maybe not in the quarterfinals, but I hope we do see it. Good news about Eriksen. We need him without Casemiro. So I don't know what the news is. Is he meant to be back after the international break? Casper says Sevilla is the all-time champions of the tournament, but they're having a bad season and they might get relegated, says Casper. Look, Sevilla would be a good result for us, but in fairness to all our loyal following fans who go all around Europe, and I include Adam in that, I don't think they want to go to Spain again. Although the weather will be nicer in April. So, yeah, we'll see. Can I just add... I'll probably talk about this more at 8 o'clock tonight on the 8 o'clock show. We've got a few shows on the channel today. We've got a live 4 o'clock show. We've got the press conference reaction at 1:30. But I will talk about it in more depth on the Friday night show. But hi to Bulgaria from Mouse. Thank you very much. But Sir Jim Radcliffe has been at Old Trafford today. Pictures of Sir Jim. He did turn up with his delegation. Obviously, Althani. Sorry, apparently you pronounce it Althani with a th. Althani didn't go yesterday. He sent his delegation. Sir Jim has gone today. I think it's a clever move by Sir Jim. You know, visualise your bid. You know, but they've left Old Trafford. I don't think. Look, apparently yesterday the meeting with Qatar was 10 hours long. Some people are saying that Sir Jim was only there for 2 hours because he saw how much Qatar were going to bid and left. I don't think he's left. I think he's gone to Carrington. I might be wrong about that, but I think that the Old Trafford part of the meeting ended around the same time that the Qatar one did yesterday. I think they've now gone for meetings elsewhere. Do you want a home draw or away, says Warrior? Well, these things are important. Obviously, we don't talk about it that much, but they are important. I like to be home second leg. I do like to be at home second leg. I think it makes it easier, but we'll see. And of course, we will be drawing the semi-final route as well. So much the same as the Champions League. If Man City beat Bayern Munich, they'll play Chelsea or Real Madrid. So they know the route to the final. We will know the route to the final as well. We'll get the quarterfinals, and then we'll see who we're going to play if we get through in the semi-finals. The mentality change is real. We want the toughest, says Oliver G. Also, Naud, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for your support. Mourinho's right. Arsenal are a specialist in failure, says Perth. And also, Matthew says, all-time favourite United player, for me, it's Rooney. He's the reason I started following United when I was 7. We're about 3 minutes away from the start of this draw, by the way. My all-time favourite Man United player is either Roy Keane or David Beckham. They're the two players that really captured my imagination. Does the semi-finals get drawn as well? Yes, they do, Connor. Let's have it, Mark. We can beat any of these teams, says Andy. You know what? You're sort of drawing me into the fact that I'd love to get Roma now. You know, I think I'd be disappointed if we don't get Roma. A few people saying Scholes. Who is St. Patrick, says Mad Max. I think he's a guy who beat dragons. No, that's St. George. He's the English one. What did St. Patrick do? Didn't he fight snakes or something? Or St. Patrick fought somebody as well. Maybe it was the Welsh. I don't know. He fought someone. It was a dragon for St. George. I think it was he fought... What did St. Patrick do? Was it snakes? It was snakes. Yes, I got it right. It was snakes. Do you think Qatar... I'll tell you what, there's plenty of snakes I could do with St. Patrick getting rid of in this industry. I'll tell you. Ask me about that on the tour. When I'm on YouTube, I'm always very professional. On tour, I'll have had a few Guinness. Monday night, ask me about snakes. I'll tell you. I'll tell you every snake in this industry. Do you think Qatar is sort of inevitable now? Says I don't. You know, I don't. I think that's a great question from United 2004. I don't. When I see Sir Jim turning up, I think he wants the club. He'd do a better job than the Glazers, and he wants the club. I don't like the abuse that Sir Jim gets on Twitter as well. I don't like it. He's a guy that would be better than the Glazers, who thinks he can do a good job for the club he supports. Sir Jim was at what everybody wanted back in August. If Sir Jim gets hold of the club, I think he'll try his very best. I prefer the wealthier option. I think it's the way we have to go, but I don't like it. I've said it before. I don't like it when people are like, "Oh, piss off, Bruno. I like Pogba." You know, at the end of the day, it's. I think Sir Jim would be a good owner. I don't think it's the right ownership model for us at this time, but I'm not anti Sir Jim, and I think some people are. But you know, if Qatar offer the money, they'll get the club. That's it. Bottom line, if Qatar offer the money, they'll get the club. And Mike Keegan has said that the second bids have got to go in by Wednesday, and then final bids by Easter, which is I think 2 weeks tomorrow or on Sunday. So yeah, there's a lot to go there. I would like Manchester United against Leverkusen, says Johan. There we go. Never wanted to Jim. His offer looks awful, says Keel. But you don't know what the offer is, do you? But look, we'll see what happens with it. I think Qatar, if they offer, or Al Thani, if they offer the money, they can afford it. I missed Juan Mata. He was a very good player, says Alex Falcinato. He was misused as well. Anyway, it's Friday. It's Europa League draw time. I think it's a big boost that Arsenal are out, by the way. The fact that Arsenal are gone, put some respect on Arsenal's name. If they were still in the tournament, that would be us and them as the favourites. I think with Arsenal out, one of the favourites are gone. Look, ideally, if we don't get Roma or Juventus, you want them to get each other. You know this. If you can navigate the tournament and see teams dropping out, like Sociedad got knocked out by Roma, we've knocked Barcelona out. The more of them get knocked out, the better. Come on, United, says Mustafa. I wouldn't want Sevilla in the final. They have got this sort of lockhold on this tournament, haven't they? But we'll see. I will be having a drink later, D4, because it's St. Patrick's Day. I haven't got any Guinness. I need to get some Guinness. I might pop down the shops in a bit. Come on, United. I tell you what, I had plenty of Guinness on Tuesday at Cheltenham, though. Hi, Mark. When you mention the great number 7 players, you never mention my favourite, Cantona. Do you just forget him, or do you have an issue? Says Farman, I haven't got a problem. I haven't got an issue with Eric Cantona. Eric Cantona wasn't one of my favourite players, but I love Cantona. And what I will always say about Cantona, and I've said it regularly on this channel, Cantona was the missing piece. United kept getting so close to winning titles. Leeds took it off us. And then Cantona came in, and he was the missing piece that made that team learn how to win. So Cantona is one of the most important Manchester United players in our Premier League history and in our history, because he basically was the missing piece that made that team win. You know, he was the godfather, the Don to the class of 92. Put something green on Mark's street. I'm looking for something green. Mark, why are you still salty over sending off when we win the league? Come to celebrate in London. For City not winning the league as well, says Zane. Mark, are there any plans to come to the USA during the summer? Yeah, we are just waiting for Manchester United to confirm, Brian, where they're going to be. And if we go to New York, I will definitely be in New York, 100%. So if anyone's got any nice bars or venues that you want us to do United stand shows, let us know. But we don't know where we're going to be yet. Vegas, we're going to be in Vegas, LA. So if anybody's got access to any sort of venues in Vegas or LA or New York City, get in contact with us. We'd love to do something. Definitely. I mean, look, we're about to embark on 4 shows in the next 2 weeks. Keep an eye. Make sure you subscribe. We'll have some clips and stuff for you and socials and stuff. But yeah, that's the plan to be in America. Chris Retford, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. Honestly, even if you draw Juve, that's an easy match, says Casper. I don't think Juve are as good as people think. You know, sometimes you're playing the name. It's a bit like playing Man United under Solskjaer, isn't it? You know, Man United, you know, people, you pull Man United out and you think, oh my God, it's Man United, but we weren't that good. Robert's got access to a shed in San Marino. Sounds great, mate. A field will do, as long as it doesn't rain. Really want to come to South Africa. Yeah, there's loads of places we want to go, but, you know, we've got to do it as it comes. I bet Pogba would get... Well, look, do you think Pogba would be fit if we played Juventus? Because that would be interesting. Sevilla, we owe them 1. Roma, Mourinho, Feyenoord for Malacia. There's some interesting games there, isn't there? That you know... But look, I think if we're being honest, Ten Hag would love the Belgian side. Speaking of snakes and Juve, Di Maria as well. Yeah, look, Juventus would be interesting, Brachiosaurus Rex. I forgot about Di Maria. Yeah, you're right. Bruno with Sporting, says Fernando. So there's some interesting. I got to say, look, the Champions League quarterfinals are fire. You know, I think this round is where the Champions League really is the elite European tournament. I think the Europa League's done quite well. I thought Sporting against Arsenal last night was very good. We had Man United, Barcelona in the previous round. The Champions League is now taking its rightful place as the elite European tournament, and that's where we want to be. And those quarterfinals are fantastic. But the Europa League, to be fair, there's some good teams in there, and I'm looking forward to it. Jim plus Qatar joint equals Glazers and Avran's hair leaving, says United 2004. I personally think that Sir Jim's best bet, and I was thinking about it today, and we are on the United stand, so I can say this. I've got no evidence of this, but I think Sir Jim's best bet, and I wouldn't want this to happen, is to do a deal with the Glazers. I think that's the only chance he's got, is to do some sort of deal that keeps the Glazers there. Smithfield Hall in New York City. It's the United Bar in New York. Crazy atmosphere. There we go. We'd love that. Shawshank. Right, I can stop sipping coffee now. Ranieri's back. He's already done the Champions League. He's back here again. He's going to tell us what he's doing tomorrow. Feyenoord wouldn't be easy. Pogba says, the only concern for me about the team is De Gea's distribution. We need a new goalkeeper to get in a title race. Did you see his distribution yesterday, Pogba? He was fantastic. And the save he made in a one-on-one. So I think this De Gea thing is just a little bit over the top. But as I keep saying, look, next summer people are laughing about the Ranieri thing. You don't watch it on That's Football, do you? I've called him Ranieri for years. Sir Jim, 45 minutes at Old Trafford. Qatar, 10 hours at Old Trafford. Look, Joshua, there'll be better minds than me that know what's gone on. Qatar yesterday were at Old Trafford for years, for 10 hours. Sir Jim's been there for about 2, but I don't know whether Sir Jim's meeting's over or whether he's gone to Carrington now, because everyone will get shown around Carrington. Josh says, who do you think wins the Champions League, Mark? Well, I think Napoli have got a great chance. I can't wait to watch some of those Champions League games. I really can't. They're not getting the balls out yet. Zoltan Gera's just come out. So, yeah, you know you're in the Europa League when Zoltan Gera's coming out. They had Kluivert on the Champions League. Is the Champions League format 100% confirmed to change? If so, what are your thoughts, Mark? Yes, they are changing it, Flynn. I don't know whether it changes next year or the year after, but I don't like the change. So Jim couldn't afford a longer meeting, says Tato. Yeah, you know what? I think you know. Have you ever been on Zoom? Have you ever done a Zoom call where you get 40 minutes and after half an hour it says you've only got 10 minutes and then it literally just ends? I think that's what's happened with Sir Jim today. He's literally like, time's up. Oh, I've got loads more to talk about. I've been joking. He could be our new owner of Man United. Could be our new owner of Manchester United. 2024 is when the Champions League will change, says Football Shorts. And if Chiesa plays, it's over for Man United, says Gianluca. It's not. I've got a bad feeling about Roma and Juventus, says Lil Chris. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're all very welcome on the United stand. Do not miss the 8 o'clock show tonight. It's one of my favourite shows of the week. It's St Patrick's Day, so I'm sure I'll have had a taste of something. And it's going to start in about 5 minutes, mate. They have to have a little chat first. So Zoltan Gera's here having a chat, and then they'll bring someone else out. Wan-Bissaka will easily pocket Chiesa, says Lambert. Well, Chiesa plays off the right a lot as well, doesn't he? So it would actually be Luke Shaw. I've got a feeling we're going to go to Germany, says Juventus. Jose back at Old Trafford would be fantastic, says Alexia. Did you see Delaney's article calling the Champions League repetitive, says Matthew? I don't think he's a very popular journalist, is he? He's the one who's always getting in arguments with United fans about the Qatari ownership, so, you know. Awesome Face 123 says it 100% will be Sevilla. Do you think it's a trophy that Man United can win? 100%. I mean, look, existed. In tournaments like this, it doesn't always pan out, but we would be the favourites to win this tournament now. There's nobody that would be above us. Champions League draw was interesting because the Italian team is guaranteed to make it to the final. They're not, Claydon. There's a Portuguese team that could get to the final. There's AC Milan, Inter Milan, Napoli and Benfica on one side of the draw. Mikel Roach has just gifted a membership. Thank you very much. I've got to gift my memberships, actually. Do not let me forget to do that on the 8 o'clock show tonight. I didn't do it on the watch along. I will be on Twitch, yes, at just after 3 o'clock. Yeah, they've got a 75% chance of making the final, Italian team, Mario G. You're absolutely correct. Juventus or Roma, I feel, says Triggered Salt. And happy St. Patrick's Day, says Kevin Shields. Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. Jaden says, I love the content, and he's a member. Thank you very much. Remember, if you want to be a member, you can do it by clicking the join button. That's why people have badges. Those badges change each month, all the way through to a platinum badge. Thank you very much for your support. We will be using the members, actually. Even if you can't attend the tour, I will be using the members community tab when the shows are live, because I need to bring some live comments into the show. So don't worry, Mark. Jim will fix it, says Brian. Let's get Sevilla, please, says welcome. And here we go with the first draw. It's going ahead now. Manchester United, quarter-finalists in the Europa League. Zoltan Gira. I thought they were going to get another guest out, but they've only got one. And it's Manchester United who are out first. Here we go. Manchester United picked first. We're first to go here. So Manchester United, he stopped it. He stopped it. What's he doing? He's going again. He's going again. Manchester United against Sevilla. Well, we're going to Spain again. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Mark, says Kipper. That's a good draw for United. A good draw. I've just got to do the tweet. I said it last night. I said it after the stream last night. Can we play you every week? La Liga has been good to us. I mean, look, La Liga wasn't good to us. I think before the Barcelona game, our record against La Liga sides in Europe was absolutely terrible. And then Erik ten Hag has just made it not an issue at all. So we've got Sevilla in the quarterfinals. We're going to have to wait and see who we get in the semi-finals, but it's a good draw for Manchester United because Sevilla are crap. We'll talk about Sevilla in a minute. The draw is still going on. Juventus have got Sporting, I think. I'm not paying a massive amount of attention, but Manchester United against Sevilla. Sevilla are not as good as Betis, and they're certainly not as good as Barcelona. So it's a chance for redemption for Manchester United against Sevilla. And Heng, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. I think that's a good draw. They are 13th in the league, says Tumbleweed. The players who are part of the loss in the final will especially be up for this game, and I love it, says Corbs. Sevilla is fighting relegation. We've got this. Sporting are dangerous, says Louis. Well, Sporting are not Manchester United's concern because we've got Sevilla. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Sevilla while we're watching the rest of the draw, because of course the semi-final draw is going to come out. So currently Sevilla are in 13th place. They potentially are fighting relegation because they're in 13th with 28 points, but they're only 3 points off second bottom. It's very congested down the bottom for Sevilla at this moment in time. More crap refs from Spain, Mark, says Leroy. Look, we knocked Barcelona out. They're the best team in La Liga at the moment on table form. We've knocked out the 5th best team in Betis. Sevilla are worse than both those teams. It's a good draw. And also, it's another trip to Sevilla, isn't it, for Manchester United? Do you think Manchester United... Betis was in Sevilla, wasn't it, as well? I'm pretty sure Betis is in Sevilla. Do you think Man United have more chance of being Sevilla now comparing to 2018? Yes, Claydon plays, I do. Sevilla are the Real Madrid of the Europa League, says Matteo. Could be third time unlucky, says Sata. Yeah, Betis is in Sevilla, says Manuel. So it's exactly exactly the same place. I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for Adam and all the away support, because you could have gone to Rome, you could have gone to Turin, you could have gone to Belgium, you could have gone to Portugal, you could have gone back to Sevilla. But it's still a good draw for Manchester United. That is. Paul says happy St Patrick's Day. Roma have just been drawn out here as well. So Roma are playing Feyenoord in quarter-final 4. So we've got the quarter-final draw here. Manchester United will play Sevilla. Juventus will play Sporting. The Belgian side will play Leverkusen. And Roma will play Feyenoord. So now they've got to do the semi-final draw. So you can basically start mapping the thing, to the route to the final here. Olivia says, are we going to play Tellez? I don't know whether he'll be able to play. 5 months with this lovely man, says Reflex. Thank you, mate. So let's have a look. Here we go with the semi-final path. So what's that? Winner of quarter-final 2. That's not us. Marcus is saying it's rigged. Why do you think it's rigged? I'm intrigued. Got a hard draw, to be fair. Juve or Sporting in the semi-final, says Sean Turner. Yep, it will be Juve or Sporting in the semi-final for Manchester United. But I tell you what, that's a good draw. That's a good draw because effectively, I think I've got a bit of a delay on my draw, by the way. That's a good draw for Manchester United because it means that we get, Italy or Portugal trip in the semi-final. Mark, the Sevilla is a tricky. Remember what happened last time. Just have that worry, says Mikel Roach. Yeah, but we'd still be favourites. Still be favourites in that. We should use this tournament to work on our record against Spanish opposition, says Anthony. Well, we're just ticking him off at the moment. I'm just trying to get the Sevilla team up here. So bear with me. Manchester United up against Sevilla, Juventus or Sporting in the semi-final. Which means Roma, Feyenoord, the Belgian team, and Leverkusen in the other side of the draw. There we go. Man United against Sevilla, quarter-final 1. Juventus versus Sporting, quarter-final 2. Leverkusen against Union St. Gilles in quarter-final 3. And Feyenoord against Roma in quarter-final 4. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, I think the dream quarter-final was to get the Belgian side. The glamour tie was to get Roma. But I'm calling it now, Mark. Ten Hag versus Mourinho in the final. I tell you what, Sean, it's on, isn't it? It is potentially on that Manchester United could play Roma in the final. It's a long journey there. You've got to knock Sevilla out, then you've got to knock Juventus or Sporting out to get Roma. It's going to be a tough path to the final for Manchester United, but it is on. It is on. And Roma are having a good season as well. If all goes well, predict Man United versus Bayer Leverkusen final, says R. George. Yeah, I mean, it just depends what the comparison is between the Bundesliga and Serie A, doesn't it? But I don't think Juventus would be a tough game, to be honest with you. And Feyenoord against Roma will not be an easy game, as No Way Man says as well. So, look, very intriguing draw for Manchester United. Let me just talk to you about Sevilla, and let me just talk to you about what's going on with Sevilla at the moment. So if you look at Sevilla's last few games, they actually lost to Fenerbahce 1-0 last night. They beat Almeria, they beat Fenerbahce, they got absolutely hammered by Atletico Madrid 6-1. They lost to Osasuna at home 3-2. They got beat by PSV. They've drawn with Rayo Vallecano. They've beaten Mallorca. They've been beaten by Barcelona. But if you look at the team that played Fenerbahce last night and won 1-0, they had 33% possession against the Turkish side. 33% possession. Their lineup at the moment looks like this: Dimitrovic, Tellez, Acuna, Barde, Guedil, Montiel, Mir, Oliver, Fernando, Rakitic, and Nasri. They're not really a team. Campos was on the bench. Brian Gill was on the bench. Lamela, you know Eric Lamela. Navas still there as well. But I don't think they're that good. They're not the Sevilla that used to win the Europa League every year. And as Aura says, we've owned those Serie A those La Liga teams this year. I think it's a good draw for Man United. I don't think it's an easy draw, but I think it's a good draw for us. Now, can somebody tell me whether we're playing home or away first leg? Are we at home first because we were drawn first? Because that makes a difference. Tellez will not be able to play because he's on loan from Manchester United, so we'll be able to stop him from playing. I think we'll be at home first because we were drawn first. So home leg first and then away. Mark, are we playing home first or away? I think we're at home, Sumya. I don't think it massively matters because you saw United yesterday. I think Man United are a good team away from home. I think we've got that explosive pace on the break. We're a good defensive side. So yeah, I mean it's not a great draw if you're Harry Maguire or Victor Lindelof or Scott McTominay or who might be thinking I might get a bit of game time because we'll have to go hard. But of course, it makes our schedule very, very interesting as well. If you look at this as well, you can't look at it, but I'll read it out to you. Manchester United's next few games look like this. So let me just get the fixture list up for Manchester United. I mean, it doesn't stop. Remember, Man United are, I said this back at Christmas, we're going to play a game every 3.5 days from December the 27th to the end of May, apart from this international break. So we play Fulham on Sunday, then you've got your 2 weeks off the international break. We come back on Sunday the 2nd of April, where we play Newcastle away. We then play on the Wednesday against Brentford. We'll then play on the Saturday against Everton. Then we'll play on the Thursday against Sevilla. On the Sunday away to Forest. On the Thursday away to Sevilla. On the Sunday away at home to Chelsea. And then on the Thursday that week we're playing Spurs. And then we've got Villa. We will play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, plus probably an FA Cup semi-final as well. So it's not going to stop. It's going to be relentless. Play Juve in the semis, show Vlahovic where he wants to be, says William Brown. And if Mourinho gets to the final, do you not fancy him to win it? Says Glade. Look, if we'd have pulled out Roma in the quarterfinals, I wouldn't have said we're going to win. Mourinho is the ultimate tactician. I watched Jose Mourinho's Inter do something I didn't think was possible against Barcelona. When they knocked them out. Was it the semi-finals? Was it 2010? Was it? I can't remember what year it was. But he is capable of tactically getting through a game. We've seen that before. So I think it was 2010, thank you. So look, Mourinho would be very difficult. We don't need to worry about that. We need to worry about what's in front of us. And I think this is why it's important in April that we do hopefully get Eriksen back. We know that Casemiro will be well rested because he'll have been suspended. But, hopefully Martial can start playing some bloody games of football because that would be 3 players coming, back fresh in April that would almost, cliche, almost be like new signings. So loads of games. Home to Chelsea will be postponed if we win the FA Cup quarterfinals, says Sumya. Yeah, that home to Chelsea game needs to get moved anyway because it's down as a 5:30 on a Saturday, which it won't be able to be because we'll be playing on a Thursday. So it's got to get moved anyway. So ideally, if we beat Fulham, that will get moved. But it's relentless. I can't speak. It's not a surprise to me. If you've got a couple of minutes this afternoon, look at April, look at May, and figure out, if we get to the final of the Europa League and the FA Cup, how the bloody hell we're going to play all our games before the end of May. It's virtually impossible. I don't know whether anybody's looked at it yet, but I'm pretty sure if we get to the final of the FA Cup and the final of the Europa League, there becomes a point where we won't even finish the season at the end of May by playing midweek and weekend. I think somebody said to me the other day, if we get to the final of the FA Cup and the final of the Europa League, there will have to be a week in May where we play Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, or something stupid like that, or they'll have to elongate the league. There actually isn't enough midweeks for us to get it all in. I don't know whether that's true. I think hopefully there is. But we do have Brentford's been rearranged. This weekend's game against Brighton's been rearranged, and then you'd have Chelsea as well. So I don't know whether there's 3 spare weeks to get that in. Didn't we play Delo the season he was on loan at AC Milan? We could play against Alex as Tony. I don't know. But we're suffering from success. Well, we're happy to suffer, aren't we? And there's 2 things I would take away from this. One, we've not lost in a tournament in a cup tournament this season. And it's nearly the end of March. We've not lost again. We've not been knocked out of a tournament, and we're in 3. 2, we've been playing every 3.5 days since December the 27th, and it will continue to the end of May. I don't know. Maybe Liverpool last year, because they got to the final of everything, didn't they? But there wasn't a World Cup. I don't think there has been a season where a team has played so much football in 5 months. It's ridiculous, and we haven't got a massive squad. Will the first Sevilla game be Casemiro's first back? I can see him being hungry for it, says the filthy underdog. You're right, he will, yeah. It will be, yeah. He will miss Fulham and then the 3 games, yeah, he will. Do you worry for us where we struggle with energy next season because of the crazy schedule we had this season? It has happened to Liverpool before, says Sumya. Yes, I think it is a bit of a problem for Manchester United that the tiredness will be a problem at some point. But maybe not. Maybe we've got the players that can deal with that. We'll potentially play more games this season because of the extra playoff games with Barcelona. That's what killed us, Large. You're right. I was just looking at it there. So Sunday, first week back after the international break, we're playing midweek against Brentford. Then we've got Europa League, and then we've got Europa League. Then we're playing on Thursday against Spurs anyway, and then it's the weekend, and that's April done. So every midweek in April is already done, no matter what. Then in May, you'd have 2 midweeks for Europa League. That would take those 2. And then you've got Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford. We can't do it. We actually can't do it. That's terrifying. We cannot finish the season. We can't get the games in. There's not enough midweeks. Because I think the Europa League final is after. We can't do it. If we beat Fulham on Sunday, we can't get the season done without playing 2 games in a week. Mate, just be wary of that. They might make us play Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday to get the season done. Who did Arsenal draw, says Charlie? Oh no, we've got Brentford already, right? We might be able to do it then. We might be able to just do it. Would be 2. Tight. Depends if we win on Sunday as well. I tell you what, I find it tiring as a fan, though. You know, you play Man United every 3.5 days. All these previews and match reactions and watch-alongs. Jack Bland, thank you very much for your super chat there. Europa League final is after the last game of the season. Brighton and Chelsea can be rearranged in game week 34 and 37. A midweek game every week until the end. There we go. So it is possible, says Ian B. Good. Just about possible. Okay, well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back with the press conference just after 1:30. Ten Hag's press conference for the Fulham game. Hopefully we'll get some updates on the situation with Martial, Ericsson and a few others. I'm going to be on at 8 o'clock tonight for the show. Can't wait for that. Make sure you subscribe. Smash a like on the video. I'm going to go and get some lunch. I'll speak to you all in a bit.